Hello, my dear friends. Very good morning to all of you. We are studying chapter number 2. In last lecture, we have seen what is colloids or colloidal solution. We have seen examples of colloidal solution. We have seen table number 2.1, that is the table for different kind of colloidal solution. Example: aerosol, foam, emulsion, gel, solid sol, etc. And we have understood that how dispersing medium and dispersing phase creates different kind of colloidal solution. After that, we have different separating techniques. So our third point, that is separating the components of mixture. First of all, we have seen kind of mixtures. What are the different kind of mixtures, their properties, their comparison? For example, solution, suspension, and colloidal solution. Now we will see how to separate this mixture by different techniques. Separating the components of mixture, topic number 2.3. We have learned that most of the natural substances are not chemically pure. Now we have understood that what is chemically pure and what is chemically impure. We have seen that the word pure is different meaning in science. In layman language, we have pure means without adulteration, but in science we have different meaning for pure. For pure in science, we have required only one component in it, or that is what we call as pure. Different methods of separation are used to get individual components from the mixture. Separation makes it possible to study and use the individual component of mixture. Now this is the important part. Why we separate mixture? What is the need for separating mixtures? Here you can see used to get individual component from mixture. Now in nature there is some component, there is some mixture in which there are useful component in it. You will study in your higher standard that how we get the metals out of ore, how we get different minerals, how we get petrol, diesel, that we will study in this chapter only. So that are the very useful substance for us. But to get this substance, we have to separate it from mixture. By your general knowledge, you know that nothing in this world we get purely from the nature. For example, iron, gold, or anything there is in mixture form, they are always with attached with some other thing, so we have to separate it. So use of separation technique, that is we can get the individual components from the mixture. Separation makes it possible to study and use the individual component of mixture. We are studying these components of mixture. For example, we are right now facing the difficulty to get the medicine for COVID-19. If I want to, or if we want to make medicine or anything that cure COVID-19, what I have to do? I have to first understand the structure of that bacteria, virus, whatever. So whenever we separate anything, only then we can understand it betterly. So that is the use of separation technique. For study, we have to separate it, analyze it. For example, if we want to study human body, we have separated in different parts, different components, different structure. We will learn the structures in your higher standard. So that is the use of separating technique. Heterogeneous mixture can be separated into their respective constituent by simple physical method that you have learnt in your lower standards, class 7, 8, like hand picking, sieving, filtration that we use in our day-to-day life. We use hand picking, sieving, filtration in our day-to-day life. Sometimes special techniques have to be used for separation of components of mixture. But these simple methods like hand picking, sieving, filtration cannot be used always. We have to use some special technique to separate other kind of mixture. Let's see first separation technique 2.3.1. How can we obtain colored component from blue or black ink? How can we obtain colored component from blue or black ink? So we want to obtain colored component, that is what we call as dye. Colors are made from dye, from blue or black ink. We have activity number 2.4. Fill half a beaker with water. Fill the beaker half full with water. Put a watch glass on the mouth of the beaker. Here you can see the figure. Beaker is filled with the water. Here we have watch glass. Put few drops of ink on watch glass. Now we put few drops of ink in watch glass. Now start heating the beaker. Now with the help of burner we are heating beaker. We do not want to heat ink directly. Do not want to heat ink directly, which means I can heat the ink by simply put this watch glass or putting the ink in some other component by putting on this burner, but I am heating it indirectly. How? We heat water. Water heats up, converted into vapor. That hot vapor comes in contact with this watch glass and it transfers energy to this ink. So that is what we called indirectly heating. You will see the evaporation taking place from the watch glass. Here you can see the vapor components, vapor, which means there is evaporation taking place in ink. Continuous heating as the evaporation goes on and stop heating when you do not see any further change in watch glass. As we are heating it, water vapor came out from the ink and we continue giving heat till all water vapors are disappeared and we cannot observe any further change in ink in watch glass. Observe carefully and record your observation. So that is our activity. First of all, we take a beaker half full with water. On it, we put watch glass. In watch glass, we add few drops of ink. Now we started heating the beaker with the help of burner. As as water heated up, it gets evaporated and as hot vapor comes in the contact with watch glass and transfer its energy to ink. In this way, ink will get heat and the component in it that is volatile gets evaporated, and we continue this heating till we don't have vapor anymore and there is no change in watch glass. So this is all the technique what we call as evaporation technique. This is the technique we call as evaporation technique. Let's analyze it. We find that ink is mixture of dye in water. What we find from the experiment, that ink is a mixture of dye and water. How we can conclude that? Here you can see the vapor. This vapor is comes from this water part in this ink. So when we heat it up, the water gets evaporated. So all water gets evaporated and the remaining component we have, that is dye. So we can conclude that ink is mixture of dye in water. Thus we can separate the volatile component. Volatile component means the component which can evaporate. Component which can evaporate. So we call this volatile. Volatile component, solvent. Here you can see ink is a mixture of dye in water, which means here water is in higher quantity. So we called it as a solvent. From its non-volatile solute, non-volatile which means that which cannot evaporate. So here the dye is non-volatile. Here you can see the dye is non-volatile because dye remains in the watch glass while water evaporates. By method of evaporation. So that is the method of evaporation, use of evaporation. We can separate the volatile component from its non-volatile solute by the method of evaporation. So what is the use of evaporation? We can separate the mixture in which there are one component is volatile while other component is non-volatile. That kind of substance, that kind of mixture we can separate by technique called evaporation. Try to understand and try to find out example of evaporation technique around you. So that will be the best practice to understand this concept. So this is the activity number 2.4 in which we separate ink in dye and water. Water is volatile component, that is a solvent, and the dye is non-volatile component. After that we have very important separating technique. Let's see 2.3.2. How can we separate cream from milk? How can we separate cream from milk? We have seen on the milk pouch written that fat percent so and so, fat percent so and so. which means all milk are different in the characteristic. The original milk is same, but from the company industry we get different kind of milk. For example, you have seen Amul Gold, Amul Taza, Amul Shakti. So that is the different kind of milk pouch available with different percentage of fat. You have also seen cream, Amul cream. We use cream in some of our recipes, cakes. So that cream is also came from milk. So let's see how we can separate cream from milk. Nowadays we get full cream, toned and double toned varieties of milk pack in polypacks or tetra packs in market. We have milk in pouch, but you also have seen polypack and tetra pack. You have seen that pack, the fruity, the kind of pack we are using fruity, or that fruit juice, real fruit juice and all. You have seen that that is a tetra pack. These varieties of milk contain different amount of fat. We have seen that milk is a mixture. Milk is a mixture of various components. And what is the type of mixture? Milk is milk is colloid. Milk is a colloidal solution. So we have available different kind of full cream, toned and double toned varieties of milk pack in polypacks or tetra packs. This polypacks and tetra packs is nothing but the types of packaging. These varieties of milk contain different amount of fat, and this all contain different amount of fat. Let's see activity number 2.5. Take some full cream milk in a test tube. What is full cream milk? The milk which is not separated in cream and milk with process of centrifuging, that is full cream, which is pure milk. Take some full cream milk in test tube, centrifuge it by using centrifuging machine for 2 minutes. Now what is centrifuging machine? Centrifuging machine is a structure like we see in merry-go-round in fair, in which so here you can see how centrifuging machine is looks like. Here is a motor. Here we have motor. That motor rotates this part. That motor rotates this part like this, and as motor rotate, the spindle rotate. As this spindle rotate, this also rotate, in which we have fixed test tubes like this. We can fix more test tube on this periphery. So we have fixed this test tube here, and this is the component we filled in this test tube, which is on which we have to experiment or we have to separate. So that is the component. As it rotates, here the particles of component tries to move in this direction, tries to move outward. So this is the test tube in which our testing components are there, and this machine, what is called as centrifuging machine, is a rotate. So that is the structure of centrifuging machine. Now let's take into the activity. Take the some full cream milk in the test tube. Centrifuge it by using a centrifuging machine for 2 minutes. If the centrifuging machine is not available in the school, you can do this activity at home by using a milk churner used in kitchen. So we can take this activity with the help of milk churner. If you have a milk dairy nearby, visit and ask how they separate cream from milk, how they make cheese or paneer from the milk. In this activity also they have some huge centrifuging machine. This centrifuging machine takes cream and milk separate. Sometimes solid particles in a liquid are very small and pass through the filter paper. As we have seen that we cannot separate milk with the filter paper or filtration technique because these particles are very small. Similarly, for example, blood says white blood cell, red blood cell, platelets, plasma. If we want to separate these blood particles, we cannot separate it with the help of filtration technique because all these blood cells are very small and they pass through this filter paper. So we have to separate it with some another technique, and this technique is also centrifuging technique. So we have sometimes the solid particles in a liquid are very small and pass through the filter paper. For such particles, the filtration technique cannot be used for separation. So in milk, there are solid particles in liquid. In blood, there are solid particles in liquid. Such mixtures are separated by centrifugation. And this kind of mixture that we cannot separate by filtration, and there are small particles, small solid particles in liquid, we can separate by centrifugation technique. The principle is denser particles are forced to bottom and lighter particles are stayed at the top when spun rapidly. When it spin rapidly, when it rotate with full speed, what will happen? The denser particle, or let's say heavier particle, are thrown outside, and the lighter particles are remains near the center. Let's see in the figure. For example, this mixture have some darker particle and some lighter particle. Let's say we have two particles, blue particles and red particles. If suppose red particles are heavier, denser, so after few minutes I can see that the red particles will be here. The red particles will be here and the blue particles will be near the center. Here you can see the blue particles. So after few minutes our liquid will sail something like this. As you can see this, here we have much denser particle at bottom and here we have lighter particle near the center or upside. So that is the principle of centrifuging technique, that there is one force called centrifuge force which tries to throw the substance outward. For example, if we rotate one stone that is attached with thread, and if you rotate it and if you release it, what will happen? That stone will move outward. How it move outward? How it move outward? It will not move inward. It will move outward. How it will move outward? Because there is one force that is acting outside. So here also the same force is acting on this liquid, that is try to throw these particles of liquid in this direction, in this direction, in lower direction. So heavier the particles, it will in at bottom, and lighter the particle, it will at top. So here we can see how centrifugation technique works. So the principle, we have to remember, the principle is that denser particle, we are familiar with the word density, specifically mass density. So the density is mass per volume, that is mass density, mass per unit volume, that is density. SI unit is kg per meter cube, that is the SI unit of density. Lighter density or light density means less mass per unit. Dense particles or heavy density means large mass per unit volume. Less mass per unit volume, that is less density. Large mass per unit volume, that is higher density. So the principle is that the denser particles are forced to the bottom. As we have seen that denser particles are forced to the bottom, and lighter particles stay at the top when spin rapidly. What is the application? Used in the diagnostic laboratories for the blood and urine test. In laboratories, this kind of centrifugation technique is used to separate components of blood and urine. So the first and very important use of centrifugation techniques, that is diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine tests. After that, used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. We can separate butter from the cream with the help of centrifugation technique. Used in washing machine to squeeze out water from the wet cloth. We all are familiar with the dryer in our washing machine. What does dryer part do? We arrange the clothes in dryer and spin it. It will spin with full force, full velocity. What will happen at that time? All the lighter or heavier particle of water will throw outside. All the particle of water, due to high speed, though water particles are with small mass, small weight, but due to large velocity, very high velocity, these particles of water tends to move outside. So you can see after drying a cloth, they attached to wall, and there is one cavity like structure at the center. Why? Because this all water and cloth is feels outward force, feels outward force. You can imagine this force when we ride on, when we ride in fair, in merry-go-round, in different rides. When it rotates, we move outward like this. We feel outward force. That is similar force we can see in centrifugation technique. So the second use is used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. Used in washing machine to squeeze out water from wet clothes. So these are the application of centrifugation technique. So today we have seen technique for evaporation and a technique of centrifugation.